But it's like a Nicki theme. So I don't know, like...
We need to put some respect on some people's names.
Okay, that's a great way to say. Welcome back to the Crimson Report.
Hello, hello.
We are here in the land of super bass. Okay, we're here to discuss a very controversial, because this is gonna get like, girl, the Capulets and the Montagues.
I know. Which house do you belong to?
Lord, are
Game
you
of Thrones.
Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, right now we are still sucking on these cuckoo chews. Check out the video on those candies, girl. The yaoi candies. But so, Nicki Minaj. Let me just start with saying this. Nicki Minaj is an icon, a legend, and one of the most influential rappers of all time.
Does she have a star?
I don't know. She needs a star.
Because that's one of those things where it's like, that's why I also like really were giving Ashanti.
You just saying.
Because now that we're putting this into context with that, it kind of makes sense.
So here's the thing. It is a common theme for people not to give Nicki Minaj credits. And I personally don't see why, because...
These are haters.
Yes, no tea. But like, okay, so let's start with the beginning. So, Nicki Minaj came up through Young Money, and she basically came up in a time where I saw her first from her mixtape days, where she was like grinding and hustling, and basically like trying to get it out there that she was a female rapper and she could stand with the boys. That's what I like remember day one Nicki Minaj, day one like what an Itty Bitty Piggy remix, blah 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 blah.
I don't even know that.
All of that. Well, I'm an OG Nicki fan, but
okay, so he is the Barb.
I want to be a Barb, but I don't think I'm a Barb, because the Barbs really will let me have it if I go fuck up. Okay. So within the timeline, basically Nicki came up, she was doing her thing, and then I witnessed basically Little Kim portray, or it was being portrayed in the media more so, that Little Kim was
feeling a type of way.
Yeah, and more so, and you know how we feel about homage and blah 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 blah. Girl. So I'm of that school of like, I paid attention to Nicki interviews, so I have seen Nicki literally say like, oh, I like Foxy and Kim and Trina and this and that, like. So there's evidence out there of Nicki Minaj
paying homage.
Yes, while she was coming up. So before she had that big of a name and before she was in it, she was literally spitting graces. What I felt like happened is just, unfortunately.
Ooh, I have a read.
Oh, go ahead. Let me let you go.
Because now this is really coming off like, you didn't care that I was shouting praises at you when I was a little guy, but now you want me to scream your name off the top of the mountains when you're somebody so that you can get more attention?
So, I'm not going to delve too much in that, but girl. So, I will also have to state before we keep going, I feel like the system is really the problem. Yes. And how this game really pits women against each other because there can only be one.
Bastards.
But going back to the thing, so basically I saw that whole scene where I felt like Kim was basically being like, you need to pay me this, you need to give me this, like you need to, and Nicki kind of got tired of it because she was like, listen, at this point, if you need this for you, I've done it, so I'm gonna move on
and you can just stay in the past.
Boom. Created Nicki Minaj, the icon Dupree, Ladisol, Davenport Dupree. So then we have other titans that start to come up, and how I feel because of the impact that Nicki has done, where she started to get the traction and the respect of being like, yes, I am a woman and I'm standing here in the big leagues of this industry that is just male dominated. So please remember, I'm not some bitch that's gonna show up for some pickle juice because
pickle juice.
Because like, no, treat me with respect. I am the prodigy of Wayne. I am one of the girls. Like, I don't know if you live under a rock, but I am Nicki Minaj. So like, granted, because much like the classic divas, in my opinion, like the ones I love, like the Patti LaBelle's, the Aretha Franklin's, like, girl, Aretha Franklin would not leave anywhere without her purse in her hand. So she was very much the, no, excuse me, Hey, what's going on? So like, I get it. Like people that reach a certain talent, I feel like are especially singers or like people in the music industry. Like once they hit the level, fine. Like especially for Nicki, for me, because she had so many bops and such cultural staples. Like you know what, you hold your title. So then we had the most prominent rivalry and like I feel like it was an orchestrated fight between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj because Cardi B came in and I feel like it's never the girls. I feel like the girls have to defend themselves against what situation they're putting because if one record if one record label company wants to get more media and get more songs, like oh my god, she did a lot of things in this, and they put them in a position where it's like start a fight, like destroy each other, and because it's gonna gain attention and it's gonna get a following and you can sell this and you can blah blah blah, it becomes this money game. And it's like, okay, fine, that's the name of the game, but I want everybody, especially the fans, remember, like, they're pitting these women against each other.
Yeah, so like
for view, this is the Coliseum of music. They're literally saying, who's gonna win, Nicki or Cardi? Like, destroy each other. That's why I feel sometimes when Nicki speaks and it's like, I'm not trying to do this shit because I'm trying to be positive about this shit and not literally tear you guys down. Mm-hmm. Now, there are stories, you know, that celebrities are celebrities, so they're not perfect. Granted, on both sides. It's just, from what it seems like, is Cardi had a lot of success. Granted, great success because she's a good artist. She's proven to me at least that I don't like everything, but some of the big songs that have come up, like I've really enjoyed. Yeah. So she stapled herself as a talent.
Yeah, she's definitely proven herself, I think.
Right. So it always goes back to like people remembering that it's either just entertainment or to, like Nicki always says, if you do have something, put it in your music. Because that does make sense. Like, do a verse that's really, really like a shady, like, and the one that Nicki got me with the news, like, they tried to say something. I tried to give them some press, but they said it was beef. And Cardi had come up with a song that was called Press. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Okay, that's one thing with Nicki No T. Like, you have to give it up for Nicki. Nicki pen is deadly. Nicki pen, like, oh girl. So like that's one thing that I also like admire about her all this time is like, cause she unfortunately also has to deal with the stigma of always saying like, bitch, I don't know who you think all these other hoes are. I write my shit. If Nicki Minaj approved it, Nicki Minaj wrote it. And that is a very like, because one of her exes tried to diminish that and was like, oh, tell these hoes that I wrote this song for you, or tell these blah 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 that I did this. And you do know how
so pathetic.
Girl, the internet already gathered her together. So they're like, because me and you are aware societally of how the spectrum is not the same for men and women. It's not. So hard because now she was put in a place where men were looking at her and say, bitch, you don't write your shit. You ain't nobody.
Especially when these motherfuckers also ain't writing their shit either.
Which is like crazy to me because they bump and rap to something that somebody else says, and if that does come out, it's like, oh man, but it was still a hit. Goodbye. You're just a performer. Like
a puppet on some strings.
It drives me to like a point of like, this is why it's important for people to understand that Nicki Minaj has paved the way and has become like a staple in the industry as the voice that she is, because when she broke barriers and moved the front, then people started to come after her. More female rappers that were empowering themselves through their this and through their that, and now we have a whole fleet of them that do the same stuff. So at the end of the day, shadow clone jutsu. Right. But that still is great because you are creating opportunities for other female rappers to express themselves, because that's also how you get more variety.
There we go.
So it's like opening the doors to more inclusivity is always a good thing. Mm-hmm. Just like there's a little segue, just like Saucy Santana now is a LGBTQ rapper. He's like a butch queen. Come on. Right, and she, you know, she's very much being respected in certain spaces. Mm-hmm. So it's like great, like amazing, like all these people can come in and show you that they're all talented no matter where
they're coming from.
Right. So So it was this quick little synopsis because I don't want to delve too much into it because if we really do a deep dive, then I have to come with the facts. But this was just a little touching up at here at the monastery in the Crimson Monastery. We have to let it be known that like these girls are being pit against each other.
Yeah, like let's call it for what it is.
Like it's not Nicki's right, it's not Cardi's right, it's not she's right, it's not their right. It's unfortunately because we live in a capitalistic like place and like a world, to be honest, and where sometimes you have to choose the sacrifice of certain things for the success of others. It's like sometimes you can't even speak on everything because there's things that happens behind the scenes, and then there's other variables, and then I heard, and then you heard, and then she said.
It's all staged.
So it's like my only question is, not question, but my only like takeaway and beg that you people think about is like when y'all have stuff because there was a huge Nicki Minaj hate train. Which is like, unfortunately, she had to go through that. But let's realize that we don't have to go through that because, unfortunately, it seems like you guys can't realize, and by you guys, I mean the heteronormative, like.
It's like, let's be real. What's really going on? Because this happens in other genres of music too, with women, where they pit them against each other and be like, "Oh, well, women are catty. Women can't work with each other. Oh, look at these two bitches fight." Or if it's not fighting, look at these two bitches kissing. It's like it's always some kind of performative something to get people, for men, to look upon this and be like, "Oh my god!" Like look
for
at
men, and we see that lesbian demographic that's like, "Oh well, fuck it, we enjoy this shit."
This is the only gay shit we like. And apparently, with the white women, it's always something more soft and like catty. With you know, black female artists, we had to have them fighting and acting crazy.
Right. Whoa, that's a whole right.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why like they're pitting these artists against each other because they want the entertainment from it. But it's like, girl, no, like this cheapens everything. Like this is all you see women as
like
in,
you only see women as like
as this potential like fuck out of here
glamorized like clowns that just read each other forever. They're just all drag queens of Atlanta's housewives.
These men don't read the comments of what people are saying when they clown them because like come on, like for example, not to bring up Little Bussy again, but
not Little Bussy.
It's the same thing with him. It's like these men feel comfortable to be like, oh, we can just do whatever we want, be our authentic selves, we can just sell how we want because no one's going to put them under that scope.
Right.
However,
I see you,
listen, we see you, we smell you.
So yeah, so we want to wrap this up and tell you like...
Put some respect
on an OG that has literally paved the way for the girls that are coming up now. They're like, imagine when Nicki was coming up, she had to deal with all the things about Kim, and she had to deal with even the grievances about a lot of people just being like
comparing her to other people,
listening to her stuff and being like, man, you're not good or whatever because this is different and this is not what hip hop is and this is not what rap is, and it's like
that's what they did to T-Pain too.
So it's like, and at the end of the day, look at her now, like she's living and thriving. So at the end of the day, this is not for the barbs of the Barney stands to get deep and fight. It's just like a little bridge trying to build of like getting the conversation started and being like, I don't think we hate each other. I think we hate that we're in this system where we have to play the game by showing our support for these female entertainers so fiercely that sometimes it dips over into disrespecting the other one. But just know that it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, because they both release bomb-ass music, and come on. I know you be listening to each other's music. You can't ignore Megatron.
Let me tell you, and you girls sleep on Megatron because Megatron is that bop, and I will ride for Megatron.
Come on.
So with that, brakatata, stan Nicki Minaj, stan Cardi B, and stan not destroying these girls for cheap corporate entertainment.
Boom.